I used to struggle to write good long form sales copy. Like I'd heard the more you tell, the more you sell and all of that. And in fact, I heard Gary Bencivenga talk about how when he started as a copywriter, there was a lot of use of just very short copy, even in direct mail, that, the client would have a 2-page letter. And because it was actually being printed on paper, there was this limitation of 2 pages, right? So it tested 2 pages, but then they had an opportunity. What if we test 4 pages? What if we had twice as much selling real estate, right? And that was very easy to do. You go from front and back of 1 piece of paper to front and back of 2 pieces of paper, right? And it turned out that, all else being equal, the 4-page letter would typically outsell the 2-page letter. And so Gary kept that going, went to 8 pages and 12 pages and 16 pages and eventually 32 pages, 64 pages, like just adding page count. And what he said that he consistently found throughout all that testing was that the more you tell, the more you sell. If you know how to write good long form sales copy, you will generate more sales because you have more space for like these strong sales arguments. So you can just put more into it, more compelling presentation of all the benefits and the transformation and the stories and all those things that can move your audience to respond. But hey, even though I knew this and I heard this and I tended to agree with it, I struggled to keep interest beyond the first few pages, right? So what the heck, right? What the heck? I was sitting there and I could write a pretty good sales letter that was 2 pages, 3 pages, 4 pages, but you get beyond that and it just kind of fell apart. So today I want to share with you how to write long form copy that actually sells. These are the proven direct response marketing, copywriting, and entrepreneurship success strategies you can use today to write your own ticket and create the life you want. I am Roy Furr, and this is Breakthrough Marketing Secrets. Now, here's today's breakthrough. All right, so let's dive in with the secret to writing long copy. And this applies to sales letters, VSLs. It applies basically, long landing pages. I use sales letters fairly replaceably here because, fundamentally the structure is largely the same between, whatever piece of copy that you want to write. If it's a long persuasive sales argument, it's probably based on the same fundamental structure as a sales letter, regardless of the actual media that you put it in. And yes, there are some tweaks, right? If you're going to have somebody talking into the camera, the voice that person is going to use is going to be very different than if you have text just on the page, and that's the totality of how your sales message is presented in media. The voice is going to change a little bit, but the underlying lesson that I'm going to teach you today does not change. So actually, I pretty much kept sucking at writing long copy sales letters all the way up until November 2009. I was at AWI's Bootcamp and Job Fair for the very first time. And at the job fair portion, Clayton Makepeace had a booth set up for his total package, and his wife Wendy was there at the time, and she was handing out this piece of paper. It was 11 by 14, a big piece of paper that had all these checklists, and it says, hang these copywriting checklists by your computer and use them to rev up the power of your copy. Well, Clayton and Wendy, it's still hanging by my computer. And on there was the pretty darn good copy outline. Now, I've talked about this a bunch of times. And in fact, inside my high velocity copywriting program, I did an entire webinar with Clayton's blessing where I actually broke down how I use this to write my first $1 million plus controls. And if you're interested in seeing that, the big thing, normally I would just say, hey, go check out my high velocity copywriting training. But today I'll say, claim your spot on my Black Friday 2022 waitlist. Check the link in the description. It's the very first link. Just hop on the waitlist. If you're interested in the Clayton Makepeace outline and my webinar on how I used it, just hop on that waitlist. So anyways, I got this outline and suddenly it was like, the world opened to me, because it used to be that I was just trying to pile things on and I was a little bit confused about what direction I needed to go in. So the longer the copy wrote, the more likely it was that I was going to end up in a situation where I was just confused about what to say next. And if I was confused about what to say next, the prospect would certainly not have any more clarity than I did. And as a result, I wouldn't make that sale, right? But then I saw from this outline that, oh my goodness, there's like this deep structure to sales letters, to sales messages, right? To sales arguments. And the deep structure is fairly consistent across markets. It's fairly consistent across offers. If you're going to write a longer form piece of copy that is designed to get someone to make a significant commitment, such as pulling out their credit card and entering it into your website, or writing it on an order form or whatever, that if that's your goal, you're probably going to want to follow a fairly similar deep structure. Now, I'm not going to go into all the details here of what that deep structure is, but what I will tell you is that at this point, I think of any successful sales letter or similar message in terms of two main parts. And the first part is the pitch. And that's where you just want to get them to believe you, to believe your promise, to believe like, what is the next, or like, what is the fundamental big idea that we are conveying? And do you agree with it or not? And if I convince you to believe in my promise that for example, I talked actually in yesterday's episode about the 3 big idea types, and one is urgent problem, the next is 10x opportunity, the next is imminent prediction. So let's just go with an urgent problem, right? So my pitch is designed to get them to believe me and my promise that, hey, you have a problem and I have a superior solution to that problem, right? And if they believe me at the end of that pitch section that, yes, this person understands my problem and they have what appears to be a better solution to the problem, and they like convey why their unique understanding of the problem is going to give me a superior solution. Well, if I believe that at the end of the pitch section, I'm basically ready, willing, and able to buy whatever they're going to throw at me, right? So conceivably, and I've done this before, like when I sold a backup solar generator, it was 6,000 words into a 12,000 word sales letter before I actually mentioned the product by name. The entire pitch up until that point was to establish the need for this $5,000 backup solar generator. And so it was all about getting them to believe me, getting them to believe my promise about what this solar generator, like why the solar generator was necessary, what it would do for them. And as I went through the pitch there, like the level of conviction in the need for a solution like this was brought to fever pitch, such that when I presented my offer, my solution, my product, they were just ready to buy. And that's what you do in the offer section, the second half of your successful sales letter. You present your product, your service, and get them to buy, right? So you lay out here's what it is, here's why it's a match with that promise, and here's what the offer is for you to get it. All the things like pricing and guarantee, etc., go into that. So if you just have an offer, well, you're likely to only convert the people who already believe you and your promise, right? Like they're already deal ready. They already believe in you and your promise. And so they're going to have to have reached that level of belief somewhere else. And so just an offer as a sales pitch is not going to work very well. Or at least it's only going to convert a very small segment of your total audience. And just the pitch where you get someone to believe, well, that's good content, but that's not necessarily a great direct mail or direct response piece or sales letter, or just making the pitch, believing in you and your promise and how you understand that solution better. Well, that's great for getting them on board with you, but you do ultimately need to make an offer. And so as you are writing long form sales copy, just think about like, okay, what is everything that I need to do in the beginning, in the pitch, in the first half or so to get them to believe me and my promise? And then after that, you can start to present your product, your service, your offer, and actually get them to respond. And as you do this, it's very important that you follow the power of one. So at that same boot camp where I got the Clayton Makepeace outline, I heard Michael Masterson or Mark Ford talk about this concept of power of one copywriting. And this was another thing that I certainly got wrong as I was trying to write long form sales copy. I tried to write my sales copy about all the things and all the great things and, basically throwing stuff against the wall and hoping something would stick. And I think that that's a common misperception that long copy is full of many ideas. The reality is that no, long copy is typically full of one idea presented in a very compelling way if that long copy is going to be effective at persuading. So it's one idea that's well supported by proof points, by examples, by demonstrations, by stories, by credibility elements, by logic, by all the different things that you can throw into sales copy to support the positioning of the person offering to solve the problem or get them the specific outcome that they want. And the product itself and the promise, like everything that you can do to support that core fundamental transformation, that one core transformation, that one main benefit, the one desirable outcome. Everything that you can do, you put that in there, but you have to keep it focused on one. You have to keep it focused on, again, that core transformation. And so as you're writing the sales copy, focus on, you find your one idea, that one thing, the big idea that you're going to run with. And your pitch completely instills in them a belief and conviction in your big idea. And then the offer actually presents it. And you do that by aligning yourself with the deep structure of sales letters that work. And if you want to go deeper into this, number one, just consider, how can I use this, right? How can I use this to write better copy going forward, more persuasive copy going forward? And then make sure that you like and subscribe so you get more content like this delivered to me or delivered to you on a regular basis from me. And importantly, whether you are subscribed to my email list or not, you should go hop on my Black Friday 2022 waitlist. It's the very first link in the description with this episode. Claim your spot on that waitlist because if you got value out of today's episode, the offer that I'll be making for Black Friday, and there's actually going to be an early bird offer, is incredibly relevant. And you want to be on the wait list because the early bird offer, well, it's going to be limited, the number of people that can grab it. And the people on the wait list will receive early notice, at least an hour before everybody else, to claim one of those limited spots. So I'm Roy Furr. This is Breakthrough Marketing Secrets, how to write long form sales copy for sales letters, VSLs, landing pages, etc. I'm here every day in every episode helping you increase your marketing skill, your marketing genius, and writing better copy and getting more results. With that, I will see you again in the next episode. See you soon. Bye. Thank you once again for tuning in to this daily episode of Breakthrough Marketing Secrets. Remember, check out the links with this episode for even more value. Now make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, and engage in every way you can to keep this show going and growing and delivering daily value to you. I'll catch you soon for your next big breakthrough.